What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of Sports MasoChat, where we talk about sports. That's simple. Last week was episode 1. We made some predictions about the MLB playoffs, and good God, I was wrong about a lot of stuff. That was rough. I think I only had 1, 2, 3. I think I had 3 picks right, maybe 4. A lot of upsets. A lot of upset. A lot of me being upset about it. So yeah, we had I had the Rays beating the Blue Jays. I had that one right. I had the Indians beating the Yankees. I was wrong on that one. I was like, hey, the Indians pitching has been so good all year. And then they gave up like 19 runs in 2 games. Like, what the hell? I had the Twins beating the Astros. I was wrong about that. That was mostly me hating the goddamn Astros for being cheaters. Although the Twins had a really good year, so like it wasn't like I was the only one picking the Twins. And then I think I had the White Sox beating the A's, but I can't remember on that one. But that was actually a pretty good series. In the NL, I had the Dodgers. That was a no-brainer. I had the Padres over the Cardinals. I definitely didn't pick the Marlins because nobody picked the Marlins. Marlins are coming out of nowhere here. And then I definitely this is another one I can't remember. I think I picked the Braves, but I had the Reds winning game 1, which that series was nuts because the Reds didn't score a run. But yeah, not a great prediction week for me. But yeah, so now we're in the ALDS and the NLDS. We have Rays Yankees. The Yankees are up in that series. I honestly still think the Rays have a shot to come back. Rays had a really good year. So I'm still gonna lean Rays to win the next 2, but I'm not as sure on that one. Astros A's. Astros are currently up 1-0. And they're actually playing right now. Actually, every series plays today. Astros are up 1-0 in that series, but in the game today, in the bottom of the second, the A's are up 1-0. Honestly, I hate to say it, but I think the Astros are going to win that series. They're playing really well right now. And we have Dodgers Padres that I'm 100% giving that series to the Dodgers. And then Marlins Braves. Game 1 is going on right now, and I mean it's not a hard prediction. The Braves are up 9-5 in the bottom of the 8th currently. They'll probably hang on and win that one, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Braves win that series pretty easily. Now the division series tonight, or what's going on right now, I believe is best of 5. I'm pretty sure. But but yeah. So that's shouldn't be too tough of a series, I wouldn't think. And it doesn't really say. I'm pretty sure it's best of 5, but man, Isology. So yeah, those are my picks for the division series. We'll see. Hopefully, I'm wrong on a couple because I don't want the Astros to win. And honestly, I don't know. The Marlins are kind of like a Cinderella story this year with what they had to deal with in the beginning of the year. So let's switch tracks over to the NFL. NFL had more injuries. Not to mention this week was absolutely crazy with all the COVID stuff going on this week. We had a game get canceled for the first time this season between the Titans and the Steelers. Sorry, blanking. Titans Steelers game got canceled because the Titans just, holy crap, what an outbreak. I think last I heard they were up to 19 people, and it was like 9 players, 10 staff, somewhere around there. Yeah, they got hit so hard. It was absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, and then we had the Patriots and the Chiefs game, which was supposed to be played Sunday afternoon, got pushed to a late Monday night game because Cam Newton tested positive. Somehow their quarterback tested positive and nobody else on the team got it, despite him throwing footballs to people. Very strange. But yeah, so that is I don't know what's gonna happen if this continues. If we're gonna, the NFL got really lucky that it was the Titans and the Steelers because their bye weeks were only a week apart, so they could shift one game and have them play. So hopefully that's the end of it, and all the players realize how rough this is and don't screw this up. We'll see. I'm amazed it took till week 4 for this to happen, but we'll see what happens going forward. The other big news, Russell Wilson kept killing it. I think I'm trying to remember how many touchdowns he threw for this week. I believe he threw for a lot. Russell Wilson threw for only 2 touchdowns this week, but he's up to 16 touchdowns through 4 weeks, which is freaking craziness. Dak Prescott absolutely just destroying people and losing. I was pretty hyped about that one because the Browns. But Dak Prescott's numbers are fucking crazy. I think he threw for, let's see, Dak Prescott threw for 502 yards and 4 touchdowns, and lost. It's the 3rd game he's thrown for over 450 yards, and they lost all of them. Man, that dude's balling out, but getting zero help from their defense. Their defense is rough. Having watched it firsthand. We had some more injuries. Nick Chubb went down. Trying to think. There was somebody else. Oh, Austin Eckler for the Chargers. OJ Howard for the Buccaneers. I'm trying to think. Miles Jack, Tyler Eifert, Eli Apple. Man, just crazy. Josh Allen, he came back though. That was another crazy game. Bills, just Josh Allen's having a great year in Buffalo. They are 4-0. Josh Allen has 12 touchdown passes and looks good. 1,300 yards. So, with that division being super weak, I have to imagine Buffalo is going to run away with that one. As well as the NFC East is a joke right now. It's let's see. Philly at 1-2-1, Washington at 1-3, the Cowboys at 1-3, and the Giants at 0-4. God damn, I wish the Browns played in that division. I'm sure everybody in the NFL is like, man, I want to play in that division. Whoever wins that division is only going to have 6 or 7 wins. You're going to have a 6 or 7 win team in the playoffs. It's crazy. I really don't know how that division went downhill so fast. The Eagles just fell apart. The Cowboys defense is so bad that I don't really understand what's happening. You got some other competitive divisions though. The NFC South, you got 2 teams at 2-2, the Buccaneers at 3-1. I think everyone kind of expected the Saints and Bucks to be there, but the Panthers at 2-2 is kind of a surprise. Seahawks and Rams in the NFC West, but with all the injuries, the 49ers being 2-2, the Cardinals 2-2 with Kyler Murray, that looks like it could be a strong division. Titans and Colts in the AFC South. 3-0 Titans, 3-1 Colts. Man, the Texans just falling apart. Really quick, we'll talk about the Bill O'Brien out after 4 weeks of 0-4 football down in Houston, and man, like, it's one of those things where it seems early for a guy who's won 4 divisions, I believe, down there, but it seems like something you could just see coming, because you had the trade of DeAndre Hopkins, which just made no sense at all. I was so confused by that trade. Like, excuse me. Like, you traded what might be the best receiver in the NFL to get nothing back before the season starts on a team where the offensive line is garbage. Like, you need as much help as you can get to get the ball out fast. It was oh man, that was a weird. I remember reading about that trade and being like, wait, they did what? And I would have taken DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. And then, of course, my AFC North looks to be maybe the most competitive division in football. You got the Steelers, who had their, COVID cancellation, so they're still 3-0, and then the Ravens and the Browns both at 3-1 and rolling. So yeah, it's not likely, but it's not impossible that you get 3 teams out of the AFC North in the playoffs, especially with the expanded playoffs this year. There's going to be 8 teams. Yeah, so it was 6 playoff teams. From each conference, AFC, NFC. Now they're going to 7 teams, and I think only the top team gets a bye. Yeah, so the number 1 seed gets a bye. The other 6 teams all play week 1, which seems kind of crazy, but man, getting 12 wild card games on the first weekend is, I'm sorry, 12 teams, 6 games. That's going to be crazy, and I'm kind of in for it, but I'm also not a huge fan of more teams making the playoffs. Like, the NFL playoffs were so good. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, I don't know. The Bill O'Brien thing, going back to that, was one of those things you could see it coming, but not still unexpected. Okay, so looking forward to next week in the NFL. Looking for any intriguing games. You have the Buccaneers, Bears at 3-1, both at 3-1. somehow the Bears are 3-1. I feel like they've played terribly all 4 games, but somehow they're 3-1. 4-0 Bills at 3-0 Titans. That's intriguing just because those teams are both looking really good, but also because the Titans are still getting positive COVID tests on Tuesday. Actually, no. I'm sorry, I take that back. Yesterday was their last day they had a positive test. Today there was no positive tests. So I don't know. Is it going to be? Are they going to be able to get the game off, or are we going to have another canceled game? We'll have to wait and see. Any other good matchups? We have a lot of low-ranking teams. 3-1 Colts at the 3-1 Browns. Browns offense has been absolutely rolling, putting up over 35 points in 3 straight games. Colts defense looks great. I think they're they didn't have as good of a game this week, but and they've been putting up really good numbers on defense. And honestly, that's about it for good games. There's a lot of low ranked teams against high ranked teams. Not a whole lot of super intriguing matchups this week. Hopefully they kind of got COVID under control and they can relax a little bit. Hopefully this was kind of a wake-up call and we don't run into that again. Players hopefully will be a little more careful and not do whatever they were doing. Although I have a suspicion, this is completely speculatory, but I feel like the Titans were a staff member who got it first, because otherwise it's very strange that they had a positive test going into their last game or right after their last game, and none of the players on the other team got it. It seems like if it was a player, that would have spread, as opposed to a staff member where it wouldn't have spread to the other team, but it did spread into the organization. So that's my speculation, but we'll see. The Cam Newton one's weird though. I got nothing on that because he's the only one who tested positive. Switching gears real quick. Yeah, exactly, Fire. How you doing? We'll switch to the NBA real quick. Not much going on. Obviously, it's the finals right now. Lakers up 2-1. After the first 2 games, I honestly didn't give the Heat a chance to even win a game. Nice. The first 2 games, the Lakers just looked dominant, and then it looked like they just kind of took a game off, which, I don't know, I'm surprised for a LeBron-led team that they didn't come out and just crush them while they still had injuries. It looks like they're getting, what's their big man's name? I mean, I don't think the Heat will win another game, personally. The Heat center, who I cannot remember his name, is coming back tonight for game 4, but I don't think it'll matter. I think that was their one win. They're done. I mean, I hate both teams, so I don't really have a horse in this race. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Bam Adebayo is coming back tonight, supposedly. Jimmy Butler basically carried them through that for game 3. So we'll see. Maybe they can do it again, but I very much doubt it. I mean, fair. His record in the finals isn't great, but he's also been to 10 of the last 11 finals. So I feel like the NBA is 100% like a player driven league where one player can carry a team. But once you get to the finals, you have to have a team. And a lot of the years in Cleveland, he didn't have shit. Like, let's just be real. He didn't have anybody. Miami, they definitely should have won more, although they ran into the what's it called? The Spurs, and then the Warriors. Well, Celtics, but they would beat the Celtics almost every year. I mean, once they started winning, they went to every championship. They just lost to the West. Like, the Celtics were before the Heat super team. They formed the Heat super team in response to the Celtics, which wasn't even fair because the Celtics had Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce, which compared to Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron was a joke. The only one who could hold a flame to that is Bosh versus Garnett. The other two were hands down better players. But yeah. So yeah, we'll see what goes on for for game 4. But I would be surprised if the Heat win another game. At most, they'll win one more. Like, they're not gonna have a real chance in this series. But who knows? There's been upsets before. I've kind of been out on the NBA for a couple years. Like, I still pay attention, but I'm not watching games. Part of that is the fact that my Cavs are terrible. Part of it is that I don't like the whole super team system that's been put in place. Like, it's terrible for the game. Really quick, we'll touch on the NHL. Just because the Stanley Cup was just won by the Tampa Bay Lightning. They won against the Dallas Stars. They won 4-2 in the series. I'm not a big hockey guy, but like, playoff hockey is always interesting to watch if you can catch it. Like, I never grew up with hockey, so it was never something that like really caught me, but it's still cool. Playoff hockey's got that certain feel to it that makes it different. So yeah, congrats to Tampa Bay for winning the championship. I think that was the night I recorded last week. They won it. But yeah, I have family in Tampa, so they were all hyped about it. And other than that, guys, there wasn't too much happening this week. Like I said, the Bill O'Brien thing was kind of the big thing in the NFL as far as news goes. Obviously, a lot more injuries were a problem. And continue to be. Luckily, there weren't a lot of season-ending injuries, but that could all change. Hopefully not though. Hopefully we have kind of that settling down and everybody kind of gets healthy here, because man, it's been a rough 4 weeks for the NFL. But yeah, on that note, guys, that will do it for episode 2. If you like what you see and you're watching on YouTube, feel free to come over to my twitch.tv/sportsmasochist. Follow over there so you can see when I go live. I am always willing to talk about sports on my live streams. And if you're watching on Twitch, thanks, like Fireproof Panda in chat. We will be back next Tuesday live on my Twitch channel with episode 3, recapping the week. Might have a guest next week for the first time. We will see. Have a couple people I've been talking to about coming on and doing this with me for a week or two. So, with all that said, if you are interested in joining for a week or a couple weeks, let me know in comments or message me on Twitter at TwitchTVSportsM, and we'll talk. And I am out of here. So thank you again, everybody, for watching. Have a great week. And I will see you guys next week with Sports MasoChat episode 3. So everyone have a good one, and I will see you then. Later.